Hello, this is Libra's weekly oracle card reading. I'm trying something new on my channel and offering a weekly oracle and tarot card reading based on each zodiac sign. So this is for Libra. If you have your sun, your moon, or your rising in Libra. And let's see, I just want to get this other video open. My camera setup is not the greatest today. Oh, apologize for that. I did have it set up perfectly earlier, but for some reason it's not so good right now. Alrighty, that'll have to do. So anyhow, yeah, so this is for Libra. I'm gonna see here, see how many cards I'm gonna draw. Alrighty. Oh, and so the way that I'm doing this is based on the moon phase. So this particular reading is for the time from the full moon we had on the 19th until the third quarter moon, which will be on February 26th. So instead of doing it a weekly as in Monday or Sunday starting the week, I'm going to do the moon phases. Try this out. So, and I'm just taking a moment to tune in and see how many cards I'm going to draw for Libra. Okay, I'm going to draw 3 cards from this deck. I'm using the Enchanted Map Oracle card deck by Colette Baron Reed. It's one of my favorite decks. I use it quite often. And we're going to be looking at what energies are at play currently for Libra, what Spirit wants them to be aware of, wants you to be aware of, what sort of activities are most supported at this time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. And if you have any questions about your sign or about this particular reading, feel free to ask. Yep. Hey there. Not your average trans girl. Yep, this one is Libra. So it would be, hopefully we'll have some information that'll help you too. Pisces will be, I'm going in order. So I started with Aries. So that means that Pisces will be the last one I read. So it'll be about 4 videos from now. But I am going to work on getting all of the rest of these up today. So in about 4 videos, it will be Pisces' turn. So that's the last sign in the zodiac. Yeah, because I started with Aries. Alrighty. First card. All right, and one more card out of this deck for Libra. Alrighty. Let's see what we have here. Hi, Champagne. How are you doing today? Doing a weekly reading for Libra. So let's see what the first card is. Commitment. And I set these up from my perspective. So this is actually reversed. It's interesting because I just did a reading for Virgo and they only had one card in their reading and it was commitment in the reverse position. So, but you know, a lot of times whatever is going on in one particular sign may often be going on in other people's signs as well, because it's based on astrological stuff. So, you know, there's astrological events going on that do impact everyone, but sometimes in different ways. So commitment in the reverse position is basically talking about, well, I'll just go ahead and read it again, seeing as how probably none of you watched the Virgo one. So in the reverse position, this says that you may be walking into a commitment or a contract you will later regret. This isn't a good time to sign agreements or make any choice that would tie you up for a long period. If you're in a relationship, you may not receive the commitment you desire. Don't despair, for something much better awaits you. Now is also the time for agreements to be broken. Remember that rejection is God's protection. What hurts you now leads to wisdom later. So like I was saying in the Virgo reading, right now with the moon sign being in the phase it's in, from the full moon to the third quarter and then another week later is the new moon, this time period is not for starting new things. It's more for reflecting on what you've learned, especially if around the time of the full moon, which was on the 19th, if around that time you suddenly had a realization or something was suddenly brought to light, this is a really good time to think about that and think about where you might like to, how you might like to move forward in the future in relation to what you have recently understood or realized. But it's not the time to actually set any of those decisions into motion. That would be more along when the new moon comes. So this is basically a time to really think about what you really want, and also to not be upset. You know, try not to let it get you down if something doesn't work out how you wanted it to, because as this card is saying, is that, you know, rejection is sometimes God's protection. Sometimes when things don't work out the way we want them to, it's actually because our spirit or the divine is stepping in and saying, you know, this isn't really what is best for you at this time. So, you know, just there's no reason to worry about any of that. Just try to let it be and go with the flow, and take this time to really rest and really think about what it is that you want. It's a good time for basically Mercury retrograde type stuff, like reflecting, resting, rejuvenation, those words, R-E words, like revisiting. Okay, so this is unexpected visitors, and it's in the reversed position. Number 41, unexpected visitors. Let's see what we got here. And remember, this is for your Libra sun, moon, or rising. All right. Unpleasant news is only unpleasant when you resist accepting what is. Sometimes the thing most desired is kept away from you because it's not for the highest good of you or others. Sometimes there is loss or disappointment due to a destiny whose pattern can't be understood yet. Change is something that may be forced upon you, like bad weather that threatens a boat. Adapt to the shift in conditions and think how beautiful the sky will be afterward. Accept what is, and a more fulfilling path will soon be revealed. Remember that if you can expect the unexpected, nothing can come as a shock. So that's very tied into this first card. So definitely it looks like there's a big theme in a lot of Libra's lives currently, last few days, going into the next few days, basically this week up until the 26th. However, because this is, it's possible that some of this stuff may, go on up until the new moon for some of you. So definitely a theme of not getting too caught up into expectations, letting things go if they're ready to go. Try your best to not be disappointed. I know it can be really hard if you've really wanted something in life and you feel like you're just like, maybe you have a situation where you've been wanting something and it feels like it's going to come to pass and you're going to finally get that thing you've been wanting, and then something happens where it falls apart and you don't actually get the thing you wanted. I know how incredibly devastating that can feel, but the best thing for you to remember right now is that if it was meant to be, if it was really for your highest good, it would have happened. So even though it can be really upsetting and disappointing sometimes to not get what you want, ultimately something much, much better is going to be coming around for you. So the best thing you can do is just try to be flexible at this time. Try to just accept what is, and don't let yourself get too depressed or pessimistic if things aren't going exactly how you hoped they would be. And like it said, if you expect the unexpected, then nothing can shock you. Because if you're just really open to anything happening, then anything that does happen isn't going to shake your boat up too much. It's not going to be too choppy sailing. Okay, so the third card is Spirit of Place, and this is in the upright position. Spirit of Place. Let's see. Not your average trans girl. It says, yikes. Yeah, it's not necessarily the most positive reading so far. You may think, it's not like it's like, wee, all your wishes are coming true, Libras. But remember, this isn't really a time of the month where we're having that fruition of dreams coming true and all of that. A lot of that culmination of seeds that were planted in the past happened in this last full moon. So now we're in a cycle now of then letting go of things, and then when the new moon comes about, that's when those new seeds can get planted, and then a couple of weeks later with the next full moon, that will be the fruition of some of those seeds growing. So it may not be the happiest of readings in some ways, but ultimately it really is leading to something much better. It's just the reminder that anything that's going wrong in your life right now, anything that doesn't seem to be falling into place, Libras, just remember that that's because it isn't supposed to fall into place. If it was, it would. So, there's just, in a sense, that to me, that's very, it kind of alleviates things when you're given that freedom to just let things go and not worry about it. So, this next card, Spirit of Place, in the upright position. Authenticity is the essence of power. Our ancient ancestors believed that every place has a spirit looking after it or embodying it. Just as we have a soul, the plants, trees, birds, mountains, and rivers have their own essences. When the Spirit of Place arrives in your reading, it says that the answer to your query is in the overarching theme of your circumstances. Is your question about a struggle? The answer is to relax and let go of your need to control the situation. If your inquiry relates to finding love, then embody love rather than long after it. Once you find the essential truth that underlies your question and then name it, you'll discover the answer you've been seeking. Your greatest power is your authenticity. So, in relation to the time of the month that we're in right now, being a time of reflection and really thinking about what we want, what is important to us, what we need, how we want to, how and where and with whom we want to share our energy. So this card is really asking for, number one, Libras, for you guys to be very, what's the word, authentic with yourself. Be very honest about what you really want, what you really need. And then, any questions that you have going on in your life, anything that you're trying to think about, like, well, what do I really want? Maybe you don't really know. Especially, I know Libras often struggle with making decisions, especially if both choices seem appealing in some way. Because with Libras, you're often able to see the positives and the negatives of multiple situations. So it can be very difficult to choose, well, which is the lesser of two evils, or which is the more positive of the two. It can be really tough sometimes. But the big message here with this card too is that whatever it is that you're struggling with, that the answer can be in the question. For example, where it said, if you're having trouble, if you're struggling in some area, then the answer is to learn to relax and let go. Not Your Average Trans Girl mentioned that she has troubles letting things go. If you struggle to let things go, you can always ask for assistance. Your divine helpers, your spirit guides, angels, God, goddess, whatever you connect most with, they are more than happy to help you in any way that you need. And sometimes the best thing you can do is ask for them to help you ask for help, especially if you struggle in remembering or thinking, oh yeah, I should ask for some divine intervention or some spiritual assistance in this, because you're not going to get that help and that intervention unless you ask for it. You have to ask in order to receive, at least when it comes to spiritual assistance. So, yeah. Well, Deja mentions that that's the hard part of learning how to let go. Once you let go, it's a weight off, and it totally is. And that's the thing. I've had to ask for divine assistance to even give me the desire to let go of things. There's been times, I know it may sound weird, where, I'll give you a really good example. I smoked cigarettes for many, many years, and there came a point where part of me definitely wanted to quit smoking, but then there was another part of me that really didn't want to quit. And I definitely asked to have that intervention, that divine intervention, like to help me want to quit, help all of me want to quit. And, eventually I was able to quit. And it was actually very easy when it happened for good. So that's just an example. Sometimes, so for example, say there's a part of you that just really wants to hold on to something, even though this other part of you thinks, I know this isn't a good situation. I know I need to let go of this. But you can ask for that assistance to come in and help you really want to let it go, really be ready to let it go. And as I've mentioned before, letting something go and getting over things, moving on, all of that, it doesn't have to be about you forcefully throwing something or expelling something from your life. Really, all it is just choosing to let go. The difference between throwing something forcefully and just letting go. And once you just let go of it, it's going to move out of your life very easily. And And it may not be fully, you know, sometimes a connection or a situation may still be present in some way, but your attachment to it is gone. And therefore, anything that really happens isn't really going to impact you because you're not so tied in with it, you know. It's not really going to mentally impact you. So, alrighty. So anyhow, let me see. I'm just going to tune in real quick and see if I should pull any other cards for Libra. And I'm getting to know that this is going to be good for you guys for this week. So again, just to recap, make sure that you are being really clear with yourself about any commitments you make, and also just be aware that now is really not the time, not the best time for making commitments to new things. Of course, regardless of what time of the month it is, sometimes you need to, but if you do need to make a commitment, like if you need to make a decision in the next week or so, just be really clear with yourself. Be authentic with yourself. Make sure that you're really choosing what you really want. And I think that pretty much sums all that up. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. That's so helpful. My channel's just getting going, and every thumbs up and comment and subscription really does mean a lot to me, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're interested in a private reading, I offer card readings as well as astrological charts on my website. Very affordable, www.theinneryou.com, just like my channel's name, Y-E-W, like the tree. All right, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you again soon.